Good afternoon all, David here to tell you you should play Black Mesa. Now those of you who've played the original Half-Life should know what Black Mesa is. For everyone else, it's a remake of Valve's classic first-person shooter. You play as Gordon Freeman, a remarkably combat-proficient scientist who has to fight his way out of the Black Mesa research facility when it begins being invaded by extra-dimensional entities. Half-Life, and by extension Black Mesa, were known for their pristine combat and excellent storytelling which involved absolutely no cutscenes. Everything happened in gameplay. You were always in full control of your character. Now, there are a few minor problems with this game, some of which were carried over from Half-Life and one of which is new to my knowledge. Firstly, later in the game you essentially get an infinite ammo homing machine gun, which is horrendously overpowered. You just tear through everything with that. Also, just like the original Half-Life, there is a focus on jumping puzzles which just don't really work in the first-person setting. It can be fiddly and annoying. Now what's changed, and what exasperates the jumping puzzles, is that you no longer have any appreciable jump height, which means if you want to do anything with jumping, you need to crouch jump. You just really need to. And I'm okay with crouch jumping being a thing, but literally, there is nothing you can just jump normally onto at all. Any jumping puzzle requires crouch jumping, and that gets annoying. It's also worth noting that at the time of recording, the game is essentially unfinished, with the final Zen levels having yet to be released. But don't let that discourage you, because there are a few very good positives. For one, just like the original game, the combat is incredibly fun, infinite homing machine gun thing notwithstanding. The enemies are still very clever, the guns are still very, very powerful, they have a lot of kick and weight to them. And there's still a lot of variety in the kind of enemies you'll face and the puzzles you'll have to solve. The ones that don't involve jumping are actually pretty fun. I also again feel obliged to point out the soundtrack by Joel Nielsen. I could describe the soundtrack to you, but it's free. I'll link you in the description. Go get it. It's actually a pretty brilliant soundtrack. And speaking of free, that's also the main reason you should definitely check this out. The volunteer team has brought you Black Mesa pro bono, and it's pretty good value for money. I've paid a lot more than free for a lot worse games. And that's that. Black Mesa is the premier Half-Life simulator, and for that it gets a 10 out of 10. Huge thank you for watching, and good night.